Thank you. Hello, Mr. Wiley. You've said that Cambridge Analytica and the SCL Group are effectively the same thing, and that Cambridge Analytica was the front-facing company for SCL's American operations. Is that correct?
Yes.
What is SCL Elections?
So there is a group company in the UK, or was, called SCL Group, which had several different divisions. The largest division when I first joined was Defense, so SCL Defense. SCL Elections was one of the other divisions, SCL Commercial, et cetera, and they all handled different markets for the company. So SCL Elections handled political.
What are SCL Canada and Aggregate IQ?
Those were subcontractors that were set up during the time that I was there to build out software infrastructure. They played a very significant role in building the actual infrastructure of Ripon, the software product Ripon.
Are they essentially the same entity, SCL Canada and Aggregate IQ?
You could think of them like a franchise.
And the Ripon program was the program that developed the software to use the Facebook data.
Yes. Once you have algorithms and a set of targets, you need something to then actually connect those targets with an online display network. So that's part of the role that Ripon played.
What is Global Science Research?
Global Science Research was the company that was set up by Dr. Kogan.
And you've said that it became a company simply to service Cambridge Analytica, correct?
It became a company, as I understand it, it became a company so that it could sign a contract with Cambridge Analytica, or rather, technically SCL.
Is it fair to describe the entities that I have all just described as a coordinated network?
Yes.
And what was the role of Robert Mercer in funding that coordinated network?
He was the primary funder who put in tens of millions of US dollars into Cambridge Analytica, which then distributed that money to that network.
Did that Cambridge Analytica network, including SCL, have a recurring contracting relationship with Black Cube?
When I was there, we did not have a contract with Black Cube.
Have you since become aware of a connection between SCL Group and Black Cube and working together on projects?
I've become aware of relationships that the company had with former members of Israeli security services.
How about ASI Data Science? You've said that that company's CTO worked on SCL projects, that it was a subcontractor to Cambridge Analytica, and that there was a revolving cast of data scientists between that organization and Cambridge Analytica.
Yes.
They're a frequent contractor?
When I was there, I believe their role was as a supplier of, as the company was growing, there was an increased demand for more and more data scientists, and they were, I believe the contract that they had was to provide data scientists as the company grew.
Consider them a part of the Cambridge Analytica network we described?
If your definition of network is anybody who has an ongoing relationship, then sure.
You said that the company Palantir had staff that were working on the data at Cambridge Analytica, that there were meetings with Palantir at Palantir offices, and that Palantir staff helped build the models for the Ripon program. Is that all correct?
Yes, although to clarify, Palantir said that all of the work that was being done by Palantir staff was done in a personal capacity.
So let's just take, I've got a minute left, let's just take a quick look at Brexit. Some of the forces behind Brexit were Vote Leave, Be Leave, and Veterans for Britain, correct?
Yes.
All of them had contracts with Aggregate IQ?
Yes.
Is there anything peculiar about their contracts with Aggregate IQ?
It's highly suggestive of coordination and data sharing, but that is currently being investigated by the Electoral Commission in the UK.
Because Aggregate IQ would have been really hard to find at the time. It didn't even have a website, correct?
It didn't have a website, no.
And do we know that Vote Leave actually funneled money into Be Leave and into Veterans for Britain that then went to fund Aggregate IQ contracts?
Yes, we do.
Do we also have connections between Leave.eu and UKIP and Eldon Insurance?
Yes.
Related to AIQ's Brexit efforts? Or
Not to AIQ's Brexit efforts, but rather that side of the Leave campaign engaged with Cambridge Analytica.
Cambridge Analytica directly? Okay, well, my time has expired. I will, if there's a second round, I'd love to have one. Thank you. Mr. Wiley, I wanted to go back to the Brexit campaign and the role that aggregate IQ played in it. In the aftermath of that campaign, a person named Dominic Cummings, who was a campaign strategist for Vote Leave, said that, tweeted out that Cambridge Analytica had a essentially 0% role in the Brexit referendum. Is that true?
So it's I don't agree with that, because AIQ was set up to service and build technology for SCL and Cambridge Analytica.
So it's true in the sense that Cambridge Analytica was the forward-facing front for this network for its American operations,
But not necessarily.
But AIQ was the front for the Brexit operations.
The AIQ was only set up to service SCL Group and Cambridge Analytica. They have intellectual property agreements that transferred their IP to Cambridge Analytica. And at the time of the Brexit referendum, they were also concurrently working with Cambridge Analytica on different projects. So to say that Cambridge Analytica didn't have any role or influence on the Brexit campaign, I think, is looking at it a little too narrowly.
In fact, you've said AIQ played an absolutely pivotal role in the overspending scheme that was set up at Vote Leave. What did you mean by the overspending scheme?
When you look at how Vote Leave transferred money from Vote Leave into a bunch of different entities, some of which it had set up, to funnel money into those schemes, and then those schemes, those campaigns all coincidentally used the same service provider, such that 40% of Vote Leave spending went to AIQ. 40% of Vote Leave spending went to AIQ.
An entity that didn't even have a website and would have been virtually impossible to find.
Despite the fact that Dom Cummings said he found them on the internet, I don't know how he would do it. He must be an incredible sleuth if he did.
There's an individual who you describe as playing a pivotal role, to use your words, in the relationship between Cambridge Analytica and Black Cube, and you refer to the same woman as playing a pivotal role in the connection of the Leave EU and Nigeria projects in which AIQ was involved. I don't know if I should bring her name into this hearing, but do you know who I'm referring to?
I know the person that you're referring to, yes.
What do you mean by pivotal role connecting Cambridge Analytica, Black Cube, the Nigeria project, and Leave EU?
The person that you're referencing joined the company and played a substantial role in setting up the company's projects in Nigeria, which
involved Black Cube?
Which involved the procurement of hacked material. And in addition, this person was also at the, for example, press launch of Leave EU, sitting on a panel with other directors of Leave EU.
And Black Cube figured in that how? You said she was a pivotal role between the two?
She, as she testified at Parliament, she made introductions to a group of Israelis to Cambridge Analytica.
And they're the ones who work through the Black Cube corporation or entity?
You'll have to ask Cambridge Analytica and Black Cube that.
Okay.